Good morning. We are going to review biomolecules, the most important molecules for your body and for all of living things, all based on carbon. What are the four biomolecules? Everyone should remember this. That's right, lipids, proteins, carbohydrates, and nucleic acids like DNA. All right, those are four biomolecules. Now, each one of these molecules can be taken apart or put together. Okay, so that we need to talk about how that happens. Now, when they're taken apart, what is released? That's right, energy is released when they are taken apart. And when they're put together, energy is stored. Okay, and what that looks like in a lot of these diagrams, especially with the carbon, is it looks like you have your carbon. Sorry, that's an ugly carbon, isn't it? Let's get a little bit bigger. Let's erase this. Sorry, I'm just learning how to use this. Let's see, that should be black. Nope, still not working. Alright. What that looks like is you have your carbon. And then in the diagram you have some lines coming out of it. So one here, one here, one here, and one here. And carbon can make four bonds. But it could also look like four bonds total, but it could also have double bonds. So it may look like it's more like this. It may look like 1, 2, 3, 4. Or it could also look like, if you're going to have two double bonds, that would be all four of your possible bonds. So it also could look like this. Okay, so that's bonding, and you know now that energy is being stored in these bonds. Okay, there's energy there. There's energy there. So when you break those bonds apart, you're going to release the energy. Okay, so energy is released once we break those bonds. So you have your single bonds, your double bonds. All these molecules are based in carbon. And that's why we say we're carbon-based life forms. All living things are based on carbon, at least on Earth. All right, so breaking apart or releasing, storing or releasing energy is possible. Putting these molecules together or taking them apart is possible. Your body does it all the time. So let's talk about those processes. They're really simple. It's really not as complicated as it might seem. So let me start you off with explaining the chemical reactions. Now let's remember chemical reactions have two parts. Okay, you have the first part. Those are your reactants. Okay, and your reactants, let's just draw two molecules here. We have our reactants. So we have one molecule plus another molecule. They're going to react together. So something's going to happen once you put those together. And those will yield, so we always draw that arrow just to show what we're yielding. Those will yield your products. Okay, and our products here would be one molecule, so we've taken these two and put them together in one, plus water. Okay? And that's called dehydration synthesis. Dehydration, isn't that when you lose water in your body? Yes, that is. So that's basically what we're saying is happening here, right? We've had two molecules And they're forming one, but we're losing water when we're doing that. Okay, so that's dehydration, fancy word, dehydration synthesis. Okay, so that type of reaction is forming one molecule from two is called dehydration synthesis. Now we have another possibility, right? We could take them apart. We could break the bonds. Okay, and again, we are going to be using water. This time we're not producing water or giving off water, but we're using it to split apart. So basically we're just going to switch these two. Okay, so let's again start with our reactants. So we're going to have a molecule. Oops. We're going to have one molecule. And then, again, that's a reactant. Sorry. Let's see, how do I undo this? We have one molecule, and then we're going to add water to it. So let's stay red. We're going to add water. And what's that going to give us? Well, look at what we had in the beginning. We're going to split this apart. Now we're going to have two molecules. Okay, and that is called hydro for water, lysis, or hydrolysis. Hydro, water, lysis, split apart. That's hydrolysis. Okay, so it's reversible. We just took the first step. We went from one molecule to two by adding water to it. All these proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, and nucleic acids can all be taken apart that way. Okay, so what do we call those? Just a little bit of vocabulary. What do we call it now that we have one or two molecules? If there's one molecule put together, and we took two molecules and we put them into one, that is called, we add a little prefix called di. Di means two. Okay? What's it called when we just have one? That's right, mono. Mono means one. And what if we have many? That is poly. Okay, three or more. Okay, any questions? I think that's everything I wanted to cover. I think this will really help you on your assignment for today. If you've paid attention, taken notes, this could really help you. All right, good luck.